Welcome to our lovely future humans. To those who don't know what a future human is, we are healthy self worth bodies that are connected and prefrontal cortexes that work. So, self sovereign agents, empathic boundaries, we love all people, and we are very sad for the insecure people. Yes, I do know sometimes I will tell you all about unhealthy, emotionally immature, insecure, sick minds, and they are sick, but it's not because like sick, it's that they're sick with the body. That's always this. So we're going to leave that to the side, but if you're curious, tune on into yesterday's and more as we approach our new ascension days, the solar eclipse, the partial one tomorrow. We also have our solstice. Yes, it is very clear what we have going on for the 5D collective of those of us who are, if you're curious, personal spiritual growth. In the entire world, we have 8 billion people, right? So we have one of two groups. We have emotionally, mentally healthy ones, and then we have the ones who are completely unhealthy, insecure, and therefore, with their unhealthy fear, they think that they know who God is or monsters. With their unhealthy fear, they also actually continue to project that which is the broken stuff that happened at home. So it's sad because while I actually have fun with all comedians, I'm just going to let you know, I am wondering how their ego inside handles it, because I don't have that longing thing. You know how a securely attached, healthy self-worth person with the 1-year-old doesn't be like, I need you, So when I started IHP, they're like, why do people need you as a mentor if they need to be their self, or if they are their self and you're helping them be their self? Because they still deal with unknowns, uncertainties, unwanteds, and unexpecteds. And science-based strategies for embodied awareness and resilience are key to not only our full potential in soul, but they are key to unlocking that which is a life of meaning and connection beyond the soul self, which is why they come together with spirituality. Because when I know how to use that which is my heart's wisdom, I'm looking at my notes, because my body's connected, that means that I'm open-hearted, and when I get frustrated and irritated, I just say, look, yeah, they fucking piss me off too. They're sickos, like a bunch of them, but they're 0 8-year-olds, so please stop talking about demons, because there's no monsters inside of any of them. Through your heart's wisdom, you bring forth that which is not only, again, the authentic self, so you can stand proudly and say, I, Maria, you use your name, am a future human. One, I got the download, by the way, but I'm wearing my human hat. I know how, once you have no expectations of what the other could do, that I will always have successful relationships. And my facade friend is who I got to have the experience with. I also know that, like Sadhguru points out, like it or not, life will make you perform. Well, not perform, but we can perform all kinds of circus and juggling and acrobatics. And if you're prepared, you can do it joyfully, yes. And as the Dalai Lama points out to a person who interrupts the Dalai Lama and says, how dare you smile in the face of all this suffering? And he says something along the lines of, some people here are responsible for bringing happiness. And I, for a long time, said, well, we're not responsible, but we can. But we are also responsible because we're able to bring to all of the world with our mammalian heritage, our nervous system, the ventral energy. And so as the community of healthy self-worth, empowered, emotionally mature, equanimous, loving, mystic, spiritual, mindful, living people begin to become bountiful, because they all do trends, we're knowing how ascension days continue to lighten up the mood, except for the ones who want to be light and enlightening. So again, they're a very interesting group. But as I was trying to get to the blend of neuroscience and neurobiology and psychology and existentialism and sociology, all right here. Okay, so let's get to some stories, as it's going to be a short one for now, but you have aligned your conscious, subconscious, so you are yourself and your body is connected. Otherwise, it's bad stress. Body connected, healthy self-worth, you're compassionate, you know how to give and receive with grace, this and that are true, you're in your prefrontal. So you are healed. You don't need Dr. Amy Pigan, and you definitely know that because your thoughts are gentle in touch, and so are your feelings. Healthy feelings, healthy fears, like with my panic attacks. It's still healthy because I do use stress, not distress. That's the part of where you'll know when you move into completely restored embodiment, because you'll feel it, or when you're in the enlightenment soul age group, because you'll also feel that. So life is a mystery, and life is a mystery that you have fun with. I'm in communion with God, Akash Source, as an Akashic record reader, so I'm not actually afraid. I'm not afraid anymore, and science didn't disprove God or Jesus or any of it. No, they actually confirmed the kingdom of God is within everyone, which is why I'm like, yeah, I told God by the time I was 20, I'm just being Maria, and cowards don't know how to tell me the truth. So sure, I cried. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is, I never left you. The teenage boyfriend, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of people who don't know the story, but believe me, I love how the grown-ups were wrong, because, this is what a healthy self-worth woman who can tell you: the first relationship of my life, I love all people equally. And those who don't understand it, it's okay, because they're aware to understand how to ask, so what do you mean? And I say, because I am a person who knows how to use my prefrontal cortex. So if you think you can half-heartedly love someone, there is no love. It is either 100% or zero. Thank you, Sadhguru. Also, Sadhguru, if you have been put through unpleasant situations in life, you should be sensible enough not to put anyone else in such situations. Thank you, Sadhguru. I was 4. I got rejected by boys. They wanted to play in a car, and I didn't. And they took my twin around, and I got sent home. And I was told, it's okay. When you grow up, you're going to be with people like you that are serious. So I didn't have a timeout. I just got taught how it's a leap of faith. You meet the ones who match, and then you meet the ones who don't. And so rejection is not something that I need to be protected from. Love is when you can make mistakes, say sorry, and then you still care about each other's inner and outer well-being. So for 3 years, the teenage boyfriend cheated on me, but we would talk about it, and people who judged it, I knew already. I'm like, you're judging it. I got taught, till death do part, sickness and in health, better for worse, richer or poorer. I wasn't afraid of hell. I just got taught what it meant to be disciplined, to commit, to actually love someone. Oh, also it means that I'm emotionally, mentally aware of what health is, and that I know we have different interests, but that, of course, like Penny wants to learn about the stuff that Leonard in the Big Bang Theory, yeah, if we have no common interest whatsoever, really it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, intellectually intelligent people don't hang out with those who are not intellectually and emotionally intelligent, by the way. So when I say intelligent, I'm going to specify, not regurgitation of material. That is actually not going to, but we all hang out together. So the teenage boyfriend, the grown-ups had said your first love will be the best, or the one you won't ever forget. And I've seen some other grown-ups talk about this. And I recently watched one as they were like, yeah, the first love. And I was like, yeah, no, that's not actually what I was aware of once the first month after the breakup. I was like, yeah, I'm so much better off. There's so many better suitors out here. Wow. I've been missing out. But I was a kid, and it's still, we had a good time. We did good. There's a lot more behind the story. I won't go into detail, but I remember when someone's like, because I'm not a jealous person, I'm not insecure. And I understand, culturally speaking, everyone's explained it to me, because there's a bunch of people who, in Italy, it's cultural. And I said, yeah, I thought it was my American. It's not. I actively know that you might not know, but our polyamory community, we're not all masochists, and we're not all whores. We're also not all actually insecure. So when you meet a securely attached polyamory human being, they'll be able to do this thing, say, love is actually of those who choose. So poly, mono, really, are you going to come in and make fun? Come on, bring it on. Let me have fun. So that's when you meet the ones who are actually like completely, ones who are curious. We talk, and that's what's nice. So you don't say, you're not pelly enough. That's really not love. Amore means that I will love you. And so teenage boyfriend, let me go back. So when the breakup happened, it was something that I'm like, yeah, the grown-ups, they didn't know, it's not my best relationship, but I love him the same as all the other ones. And that's as the time moved forward. So you asked me today, and someone who doesn't like that I say all are equal. Hold on. Since no, not all can be equal, who do you spend more time with? Who do you want to hate? So there's people who don't allow your own ways of describing your loved ones. Okay, so when you have healthy self-worth, you don't half-heartedly love people. You're not securely attaching to people. You are actively creating what are called bonds. So you don't put people through unpleasant situations. And what I mean is, you don't be a two-faced fake person who, just because we can grow different, and we can be different, like Ice Age, Manny, Diego, and Sid, we're going to hang out. So that's where, We all have flaws and imperfections. Okay, so when you build relationships, you build them for real if you have healthy self-worth. Like my facade friend, which is why he's the only one that I took 5 years, my word, and did not speak to him. And then I learned about what he really was. A very, very scared human being that has issues with himself. And in fact, it proves to this day, he has one friend that consistently loves him and wants to know how he's doing. That's not a good sign. And then he has one other human being. Not a good sign when you got two people in your life that actually committed to you, but you don't commit to anyone because he's an asshole. Like any other attachment person who doesn't go and work with their child parts and their insecurity, I feel sad for them. I'm never going to abandon my friend. I might make fun of him. I won't abandon him. If he needs to get up, I'm going to lift him up again. And that's what God taught me, Jesus, Holy Spirit, and my mother, and common sense and good manners, and the attachment trauma educators. So when one wants to demonize and dehumanize human beings, and especially what they did with the oversoul stuff and the twin flame, yeah, I ain't laughing. I just thought, well, I knew we had a bunch of insecure people, but wow, spiritual bypassers are growing by the minute. Oh yeah, that's right. They just like to wear fancy suits and pretend that they know what love is. I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream. I know you, the gleam in your eyes is so familiar, a gleam. Does anybody know Sleeping Beauty? So if you're a mystic and a spiritual one, you will recognize the eyes of those who you encounter, because that's how it works when we're of that which would be defined mystic spiritual plane. You will not be confused, and you will know what you are being presented. It's called a choice point. If you're in communion with God, Akash Source, you know what that choice point is. If you are instead a spiritual bypasser, you will not be knowing what your choice point is. If you are an awareness of the choice point, the minute you're presented with it, you will have only one thing to do, which is to authentically present and continue to interact with that which is a leap of faith. And actually, humanly speaking, as Terry points out, all relationships are a leap of faith. So functional or child adults, mystic, spiritual, or mindful, don't discard like pieces of trash people who have bad manners. We actually allow ourselves to tell them exactly how we feel, how we think, and then to be as polite as possible, because that's what an actual grown-up I thought would be. Today I know there's two types of grown-ups. Actual grown-ups who are healthy emotionally, mentally, physically, and they know how to handle themselves like a grown-up will. The other kind. So you feel sad for the other kind because you really understand that they have no idea that they are the ones who need help. But that's the whole point. They don't find humans safe, which is very sad. So when you can help a poor child get up off the floor, and you know cosmic karmic balancing is always at play, and then you actually can think, okay, I think I helped something. That's how it works with your oversoul. As for the teenage boyfriend, that's a whole other story again. But you will know what love is. You don't stop loving. I can't have this feeling. You don't stop loving people just because they are different than you. And just because they can be annoying. We all can be annoying. And so again, it's sad to say that insecure people, they really are not in a good place, but they can, yes, get good therapy. And the ones who don't, they can find emotionally and mentally mature people who know how to repeat themselves to the beyond of bejesus. And again, like Manny, Diego, and Sid, it's just people having fun, because the physical safety is the most important part. And as for that, we have laws. So it's not ever a question. Physical safety, then our mental emotional maturity is what we get to do together, which is why we appreciate, because we get to walk a walk and talk a talk, like Jesus taught me. He's the one who actually is able to consistently be there and remind me of what forgiveness is. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Dr. Daniel Siegel explained it too, Jesus. It's called when you are processing that which is emotional stuff. It's okay, 1-year-old, we're good. So with all the attachment trauma education, you actually have even more fun, because you're working with your child parts if they come up, like when you get irritated with the insecure ones. And then you get to say, okay, how am I going to work with my trigger this time? Well, we'll see. I'll find out. But meantime, we'll be back with more. And thanks for stopping by.